Hello, you all. I'm coming to you with a video that's going to be very different for this channel. I won't be reacting to music. I will be reacting, though, to really the dark side of the music industry. Everything, the whole fallout after P. Diddy was arrested. So before you continue watching this video, I want any children that are watching to leave the room or to turn this off. And everyone, please use discretion. I will be talking about topics that are really tough and could be triggering, especially when it comes to essay. In this video, I will be using my whiteboard and breaking down all of the celebrities, all of the players that are in the mix of this that I have researched so far. And I welcome you to give me any more information that you may have, and I will probably continue adding on to it because it's just my own personal research that I've done. I have gone down the rabbit hole, and as much as I have never considered myself a conspiracy theorist, a lot of the things that I have heard and watched and the warnings that have been out for so many years that everybody just thought was like extreme or attention seeking by some people, they're coming out to be true. Look, the feds, they do not bring you to trial unless they have a lot of evidence. Feds often have a 97% conviction rate whenever they bring you to trial. This is really serious. And what's even more messed up about it is that it isn't just Diddy. It is so many people that have contributed to keeping all of this quiet or really hidden in plain sight. It raises a lot of questions around the reasons why some people have been complicit and silent, assisting, and why. Why for so many years? I think that there's a lot to unpack here because victims were female and male. And even though it's 2024, society still has a lot of homophobia. And this is something that P. Diddy knows and understands and uses to his advantage. He is a blackmail banker. He wants to have videos that will be considered humiliating, and knowing that if they were released, it would change their public persona or ruin their lives. And because of that, this has been able to go on for a very, very long time. There are many players involved, and it's very dark. I'm going to be including a lot of little snippets and videos so you can see for yourselves these patterns. And if this video suddenly doesn't have them anymore, it's because I had to take them off in order to not have the whole video taken down. Okay. I have felt called to do this video for a very long time. It has woken me up in the night. I feel like I'm being urged by something inside to speak on this. And it's not just as a therapist. I know I can talk about this, the psychology of it all very clearly, but it's more about being a mother and a woman and a human being, and the fact that we need to be doing more to protect children and victims.
All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio, in the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal. Another minor told, allegedly by Sean Combs, that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her.
Many of you know, but if you're new to my channel, I got a strike against my channel several months ago. You can only have 3 strikes ever on YouTube. And then once you get to 3, your channel is completely gone. And it's very strange to me that I have a strike against me, because look at all of the videos that I've done. okay? Tons. And then you look at other channels where more disturbing things, things that I don't know if it's so great for it to be out on the internet for consumption, are not getting any strikes on them at all. But yet, I've gotten a strike when I showed a video of Jon Batiste speaking about music. He believes that his music is helping heal and provide love, encouraging us to shine our light in this world. I don't know why any part of that, why there would be any reason why that can't be discussed. On one hand, I know that this video could make my channel be put at risk, but it's also worth it because I think that we have to get to the victims. And the victims were children. A lot of children. At a lot of these freak-off parties, there were children, a lot of them in vulnerable situations, such as being part of Child Protective Services or the foster care system. And they were provided to Diddy and his home for these parties in certain rooms. So not every single celebrity that was there participated in this, but like there were a select group, and a child would be placed on their table for them to do whatever they wanted to them. Hopefully it'll stay up, but I will be sharing a video of a victim who spoke on this into more detail. I will say again, use discretion. It is disturbing. Very disturbing.
Diddy parties. Those are assault parties. And I was one of the kids that was one of the party favors. And a party favors means that you're set on top of a table and you're used as a toy for anybody who comes across the table or who wants to party at a certain time of night when the music stops. There was a time where I was just like completely don't give a shit because it happened, and I was the type of kid that thought that, you know, you're in the presence of royalty and they make it seem like you're in the presence of Hollywood, so you should be honored and you should be appreciating that you're there. And I was that person. I totally acted like that. I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, it really doesn't matter. But then it really did matter. I was not brought or traded for anal sex, but that didn't matter to a few celebrities that were there. It's not just celebrities, there's a lot of different people. They called it an all-black party, but it was mainly because a lot of the party favors were black kids. I was in the care of Riverside County Child Protective Services at the time. I was 15. And no, it's just not about all these dudes having sex. They need people to fluff them, which are hand jobs and blow jobs. And those are the kids and the people on the party favors desk. And then on top of that, there's this big ass wheel, and they make it like a carnival thing, and they literally strap you to a wheel and spin it. And then after a certain time, there's sex with animals. And then after a certain time, you have no idea what's happening because you're numb. And if you throw up like I did, then your face is going to be rubbed in and you're going to have to eat it. And then people look at that as a sick fetish too. Blood is a fetish. Throw up is a fetish. Shit is a fetish. So, I don't want to open my phone and realize that somebody posted a video of me as a child, and there was times where because I was on so much ecstasy and so much drugs that I was laughing because I wanted people to think that I was okay so they didn't kill me. So there are things that would come out that people would assume like, oh, everything is fine, they're fine. No, I was 15. I was a kid. And there were kids younger than me. And there are still kids younger than me. And CPS supplies a lot of these children. Let's just not be around the bush about this. CPS supplies a lot of these kids. Because they don't look for them. They don't care. You're runaways. You're AWOLs. No one gives a shit. So, I'm happy.
So I'm going to begin by telling you that some of the research that I've done is through Cat Williams, his interview on Club Shay Shay, I highly recommend, and Jaguar Wright. I've been hearing about her for a very, very long time. For a second, I was like, wait, who is she? How is she connected to Jay-Z? And then I realized that she is the one that sings the beautiful background vocals on the song by Jay-Z called Song Cry.
I can't see it coming down my eyes, so I gotta make the song cry.
Her voice is what makes that song so amazing, in my opinion. What Jaguar Wright insinuates is that at the very top is the record executive, Clive Davis. So what I'm going to be doing is the perpetrators will be outlined in red, and then the victims will be outlined in orange. And sometimes there's going to be victims and perpetrators. That a person can be both things. And a lot of times that is what happens as part of the cycle of abuse. Now, I'm going to be putting at the very top, right here, Clive Davis. Now, a side note is that Clive Davis came out as bisexual in the 1980s. It is rumored, allegedly, that Diddy and Clive had a relationship. We'll put Diddy underneath here. Let's say we don't even need to speculate about their sexual relationship. I usually would say that's none of our business, but it does provide context to the whole scheme of all of this. So we've got Diddy right here, and Diddy has been known to snitch on people for Clive Davis. One of the main groups that he has snitched on is TLC. I am a huge TLC fan. If you were fans of TLC, you will know that Clive Davis made tons of money off of them and only paid them $50,000 a piece. So when they went to confront him, who was it that let Clive know? It was Diddy.
The record company, Clive Davis, we held them hostage like guns, the whole shebang. Yeah, it was like that.
Because, wait a minute. I want to make sure we understand.
Yes.
Guns?
Yes, guns.
With bullets?
With bullets.
Come on, give me the story,
I'm going to tell
baby.
you because TLC had generated on Crazy Sexy Cool $75 million, and they gave us $50,000 a piece. So I was like, what the hell? So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader.
Like, we need to go get our money. I need to know where my MFN money's at.
So, you know, she was locked up in the diversion center for burning down the house. And she was just like, okay, we gonna get LaFace and them girls I was locked up with. We gonna drive up there. We gonna take the guns. And then we had this limo driver.
Wait, she just got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And we had the limo driver. And he was the getaway car. So we went up there and held everybody hostage, and Puffy was the one that snitched us out. Yo, B, yo, your girl's up here mad bugging, yo. And I was like, oh, Puff, why you gonna snitch us out, dog? But he called it, yeah, because we kicked him out of the meeting.
Well, wait a minute. Puffy, mind your damn business.
I have Diddy is also in red, and then we'll connect these two together about TLC. Other people that could be, I think, up here with Clive Davis, but I haven't heard too much, just a little bit of rumblings, is Tommy Mottola, and you might remember him. He married Mariah Carey when she was 23 years old. He did a lot of sketchy things if you read about it. There's also L.A. Reid. I don't know how much he's involved, but I do know that he willingly sent, he was the one that sent Usher to Puffy's camp when he was 13 years old. So it doesn't seem like he was looking out in his best interest. All alleged, I do not want to get sued. All alleged. Person next to Diddy that Jaguar Wright has said is worse than Diddy is Jay-Z.
They're gonna be worse. They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does. Do
you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
Oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. He's losing confidence everywhere. But the only confidence he's worried about keeping secure are those white boys that he worked for. That's his only loyalty. Not even to his wife is he loyal.
Now, there's Jay-Z, and then next to him would be R. Kelly. Now, R. Kelly and Jay-Z are connected because the two of them, they did 2 albums together. And we all know that currently Diddy's awaiting trial in jail, and R. Kelly is in jail for all of his crimes to NSA and very similar things that he was doing to people underage. Now, that brings me to Aaliyah. And it was really disturbing because the other weekend, I was with my girlfriends and we were listening to old music from when we were teens. and Aaliyah came on and it was AJ Number. I love that whole album. I was singing the song not even understanding what this meant. And it's just really, really messed up.
And everybody at that point, until it became common or like it became the in thing to do, wasn't nobody disrespecting R. Kelly. Everybody was still going to his shows. Until it became popular opinion, people weren't looking the other way. So what I was disappointed in every fan that didn't care that this dude was raping a little girl. And actually, tried to, you can't sugarcoat it. You cannot marry a 15-year-old, period, in America. You understand what I'm saying?
After R. Kelly and Aaliyah broke up, she was linked to Jay-Z, and there's lots of pictures of her with Jay-Z and Diddy at their parties. So in a record company with Damon Dash, or Dame Dash is what he goes by. They briefly dated, and I guess it caused an issue between Jay and Dame because Aaliyah ultimately ended up going with Dame Dash and started dating him.
To address the elephant in the room.
R. Kelly was the first corporately sponsored pedophile. Everybody knew.
Once the came out on R. Kelly, Jay-Z fled the scene.
The point was he knew all the time.
For 20 years, Jay-Z refused to speak out against R. Kelly, but his former partner, Dame Dash, won't stay silent.
Aaliyah is key to everything.
Aaliyah and I were very serious. We talked about getting married, so I knew exactly what went on.
She would be like, no, that's a bad man.
R. Kelly did indeed marry his protege, the 15-year-old singer Aaliyah Hotline.
Like, Aaliyah was like the sacrificial lamb for all that.
22-year-old rising star Aaliyah has been killed in a horrific plane crash.
It's a pain that you couldn't understand.
It changed you, turned you into a monster.
When Dame was at his lowest, Jay committed the ultimate betrayal.
I had so much trust in my brother, but he did things that I thought he would never do. So what you think I felt all these years?
For 20 years, R. Kelly's power protected him.
At that time, we did not look hard enough.
You remember Aaliyah's album cover?
Age ain't nothing but a number. Sitting back there like Perv Master.
I mean, I wasn't there. I ain't have nothing to do with that.
They made a song together called Not Guilty. Anybody that knows what happened to my girl that with me should not be with homie, period.
Dame Dash knew what R. Kelly had done to Aaliyah, and he was very upset with Jay-Z for doing these albums as like his partner, because he knew all along what R. Kelly had done, basically essayed her at a young age and used her and made music, and he continued to do this, and he's been convicted of this, so it is true. This isn't even alleged.
Do you have any opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded, or he's where he belongs?
Yeah, I think he's where he belongs. I mean, I know Aaliyah, so I know what he did. When Jay was doing videos with him, I was be in the video, but I'd be like, yo, what do you want me to do? And she'd be like, don't start nothing, just don't be in no shots with him. So I would never, you show me a picture of me in a picture with him and shit. And then when he did the record with Jay, that's why I was that was almost like one of the things where I was just like, he's out of here, Jay. I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that he had raped my girl. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, if you look at it, like I'm not on there as an executive producer, and like, he had done some bullshit before, like he wanted to get out of Rockefeller with us. He did this shit twice, you know what I'm saying? And then went on the run. It's like,
what's crazy is that
it was just flagrant.
He was right, to be honest, because R. Kelly, once the shit came out on R. Kelly, Jay-Z fled the scene. Well, that whole situation, he just disappeared. At least from where I was.
Yeah, whatever. But the point was, he knew all the time.
There is a conspiracy theory with the fact that something happened with that plane.
Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
She got on the plane, she didn't like the plane. So like one of our last texts before she went there, because she couldn't text from there, and it was the BlackBerry at the time, was I don't like the plane. And I literally was like, don't get on it. I literally was like, don't get on it. Not even that part, but just that's what it was. Like, she knew that plane was fucked up.
Further.
No, to be investigated. Period. It was never investigated.
hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made his statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that. A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play? There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. And Diddy and Jay-Z.
Think about the movie Blink Twice, which is supposed to be basically about what was going on. And Zoe Kravitz is the daughter of Lenny Kravitz, and she says that that movie is based on the things that she had witnessed growing up and understood about the industry. Okay, so then Beyonce came to the forefront after Aaliyah passed, and that's just a fact. Interesting that whenever R. Kelly was going through his things legally, Jay-Z didn't say a word. Diddy is now going through all of this, and Jay-Z has not said a word. Something that has been dug up on the internet is Rihanna. Rihanna talking about being signed by Jay-Z when she was 16. She was brought over without any parents, no one there to help her.
Said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief. But then he said something about a window and a door or something. Oh, then he said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor. So you...
The diva Rihanna. She's from Barbados?
Yeah. She's
Okay.
Bayesian.
Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her?
We signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m. Wow. That day, I was absolutely certain.
There's also some things around this that is about Rihanna where they're alleging that he dated and groomed Rihanna. But that's just alleged.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm gonna give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she wanted to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She liked to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
Ellen Reed, Steve Bartles, Tata, Jay Brown, Karen Kwok for finding this amazing record. Tricky, Dream for writing. So
whenever Rihanna was beat by Chris Brown, it was Diddy who tried to reunite them.
In Miami, and you arranging Chris and Rihanna getting back together. Now, you want to talk about that?
See, I wouldn't use my Twitter to talk about that because that's somebody else's business.
I know, but you gave them your house.
Yeah. But we're talking about Twitter.
Yeah.
How you use Twitter, and that's something else. I'm just saying I wouldn't really Twitter about that.
Okay, let's not Twitter about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Sure.
Let's talk about it because I think you clearly have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's jet skiing around in your, I don't understand, because, I mean, listen, I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love Chris, his music, he's a talented guy, but to hit a girl...
Yeah, because I know both of them, and it's my house, and I'm allowed to give my house to whoever I want to give my house to. That's number one. Number two is that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody. And so if a friend or friends ask me for a favor, then I'm gonna be there for a favor as long as I know that the energy of the favor is positive for two people to sit down and talk about a situation that they're in. I'm not gonna get involved in it. I'm not gonna pass judgment on it. If I could be there as a friend during hard times, then I'm gonna be there as a friend.
Right.
But I don't know the exact particulars. I didn't get into it. I'm not gonna do this or do that. It was a dark time for them, and I was there more as a support. That was it.
I think you were coming from a place of a friendship and of kindness and support. And it's just, it's hard for me, and I don't believe in judgment either, but I don't want any girl out there thinking it's okay to go back to a guy who hit her. I don't want any girl to think that.
I don't think.
And I don't mean to put you in this, because it's not you.
No, but you all putting me in it. So I'm gonna speak on it. I don't think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody at the end of the day, you know. And I don't think it's right. You know, I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults. And people have been in relationships, you know. We know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out. And it's a lot of stones being thrown, and we don't know exactly what's going on. These are two young individuals. We need to pray for them, and we need to give certain support, but you don't need to start just saying that you know something that you don't know. You wasn't in that car. I wasn't in that car, and it isn't right for him to put his hands on her or her to put his hands on him. And we don't know what the problem is, but we need to pray for them, and we need to do things to support them. And that's all I want to say about it.
Now, another thing is that Diddy had an ex-wife named Kim Porter. Ex-partner, I don't know if they were actually married. They have twin girls that are 16, I believe now. She died mysteriously. She was coming out with a tell-all book, and that she died from pneumonia. All right. I want to add in something else. There's a lot that's being said now about Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher used to hang out with Diddy all the time. Ashton Kutcher wrote a character statement in the trial of Danny Masterson, who was convicted of SA. So that's there. Another strange thing connected is that at the time that he would hang out with Diddy back in the day, Ashton was dating Brittany Murphy. Now, Brittany Murphy, we all know, died mysteriously from pneumonia, just like Kim Porter, okay? They had the same coroner. Word on the street that was actually found out that it wasn't pneumonia, it was rat poisoning. So same coroner.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote.
Can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Well, we still have some time to go, you know, I can blow it here.
Okay. Feel free. Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
All of this is alleged with Ashton Kutcher. I'm not totally up to snuff on this. He has a company that does surveillance for trafficking victims. He's even spoken to the UN about this. If this is connected to Diddy, it will be very disturbing. I'm hoping that whatever he did in those days, he feels guilty about, and that he's trying to fix it now, but I don't know. There's also this really weird thing about Ashton Kutcher going to this house of this woman who he was going to go on a first date with, and he found her murdered, like he saw her through the window, murdered. And instead of going to the police, he went to Danny Masterson's house. It's weird. Like, there's some weird things, but I don't know, totally. All right, so pneumonia, dying from pneumonia.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I get.
There also is Diddy. The big lawsuit was by Cassie that has really allowed a lot of victims to come forward.
Is there anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
I keep everything right here.
There you go.
Or right here.
Yeah. You angelic all the time.
And if you don't know anything about that case, you can watch the video. I'm not going to include it in this, of him assaulting her in a hotel. I did do a live video that you can still watch that is about coercive control, and it breaks down her lawsuit and the ways that this type of manipulation, use of drugs to coerce someone, use them and blackmail them, how she kept trying to escape and she couldn't.
Do you consider yourself toxic? Because you call yourself love. So do you consider yourself toxic? Like, would you say you toxic?
Yeah, I would say that it gets toxic. I'm not trying to be toxic.
But are you toxic?
Yeah.
He would even have her go online and pick out the male prostitutes that he would have assault her and videotape it at these parties. Okay. So I'm gonna make this orange. She is a victim. And part of Cassie's that was admitted is that she, for a brief while during a break from P. Diddy, dated Kid Cudi. And Kid Cudi has confirmed that P. Diddy did blow up his car in his driveway. The rapper artist J. Cole, he rides around his bike a lot in New York City, and his reasoning is that he will never get into a car because he believes that Diddy will blow up his car and end his life that way. J. Cole is also someone who has a song called She Knows, and they believe that it's connected to Beyonce. And he talks about rest in peace Aaliyah, rest in peace Left Eye. She knows, they're supposed to say like she, like Beyonce knows, like knows, and that she has been pretty much, Beyonce has been complicit in a lot of these things that Jay-Z does. So then let's get over here is Usher. Usher is one that I'm going to name both a perpetrator and he is also a victim. He was the one that was sent to the Diddy camp by LA Reid, and he was exposed to a lot of what was going on at a very young age, at 13.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
so nobody
it was
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Usher is the one who then signs and is the mentor of Justin Bieber. And he was not protective over Justin Bieber. There is a lot online about it, where Usher gave P. Diddy custody of Justin Bieber for 48 hours. The kid was like 15. It is the most disturbing thing that this grown man wants to take around this little kid.
Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream, and we gonna go full, buck full crazy, buck full crazy, buck full crazy. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't. I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so. Right. Okay. My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
people, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. So if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her, but yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
What's interesting is that Justin Bieber, I think, has been trying to give hints to some degree. He has a music video called Yummy, and when you watch it, it's all of these like old people or rich people, all different kinds, eating desserts, eating lots of food. And there are kids that are playing kind of in an orchestra, and then once you get to the very end of the plate, when they're done like eating, it's a picture of Justin Bieber as a little boy. So yeah, a lot of people are wondering, like, is he trying to tell us something? There's a lot of conspiracy over the fact that, you know, Beyonce she hasn't said anything. She has been somewhat complicit, but some people believe that she has been a part of this because she has been very, very close to Diddy. All right, I am going to stop there, and we will be adding so much more to this as more information comes out. So if you have anything that you would like for me to know, please provide a link to the video so that I can actually watch it. I just want to go through them all. But again, so that I'm not sued, this is all alleged, but some of it is confirmed. So